The Nigerian Senate has introduced a bill seeking the establishment of National Commission for Prohibition of Hate Speeches, which shall enforce hate speech law across the country and ensure elimination of the menace. The bill is sponsored by the Senator representing Niger North, Senator Aliyu Sabi, and passed the first reading during the Tuesday plenary. The 8th Senate had tried to pass the same bill in 2017 without success. The bill had proposed that any person found guilty of any form of hate speech that results in the death of another person shall die by hanging upon conviction. It was also introduced by Senator Sabi, but it could not get through second reading. Meanwhile, the content of the new bill is still unknown. The Nigerian Senate has appealed to the federal government to ban importation textiles into the country for a period of 5 years to allow for the production of local textile material. This followed the debate on the motion sponsored by Senator Kabir Bakia, APC Katsina Central, during the plenary on urgent need to revamp the nation's comatose textile industry. Debating on the motion, Senator Kabir noted the textile industry in the country play a significant role in the manufacturing sector of the Nigerian economy, with a record of over 140 companies in the 1960s and 70s. He noted that the industry has witnessed a massive decline in the last 2 decades, with many textile companies such as Kaduna Textile, Kano Textile, and Aba Textile, among others, closing shop and throwing their workers into the job market.
Aware that the textile industry recorded an annual growth of 67% and as at 1991 employed above 25% workers in the manufacturing sector. Observe that the textile industry was the highest employer of labor apart from the civil service. Concerned that the textile industry has witnessed massive decline in the last 2 decades, with many textile companies such as Kaduna Textile, Kano Textile, Aba Textile, United Textile, first pioneers amongst others closing shops and throwing their workers into the job market. Worried that the discovery of the oil in Nigeria has also greatly affected the textile industry in Nigeria as a result of decline in the production of cotton, which was a major source of raw materials for the textile industry. Disturbed that government policies like increase in the taxation, high cost of production, trade liberalization, resulting in massive importation of textile materials has negatively affected the production of local textile materials.
Contributing to this debate, Senate Minority Leader Senator Eyinaya Abaribe said that closing the border and doing nothing will not lead to increase in production of textiles. He called on the federal government to do the fundamental power to ensure that the smuggling of textile products was done away with.
Closing the border and doing nothing will not lead us to doing the increased importation production of textiles. The real problems have been indicated here. The first one, the fact that we are unable to produce the cotton that we need we need. Of course, but far more important is the fact of power. Power was the key problem that made most of the textile mills close.
So on ground that we need to attend to, and these are simple issues. First and foremost, like the minority whip said, if we address the power sector issue, now without power, you cannot make any meaningful profit in any manufacturing industry that you open. And so, first, it is for the government, which the government is doing very well, to address the power sector issue. Now, once you do that, most of these industries, especially within the textile industry, will now have easier access to power and so they will be able to make profit because the cost of production would have reduced drastically. Criminality will reduce in this country. So this motion, Mr. President, beyond us talking and passing it here, some concrete action must be taken to resuscitate the textile industry so that the aggregate economic activities in the three sectors of the economy I have mentioned here will be enhanced.
In his remark, the president of the Senate, Hamad Lawal, said that without power, no meaningful profit will be realized in any manufacturing industry in the country.
We need really to push for the fixing of the power sector in this country. I agree that we should close the border, but I think that is only going to be a temporary relief for us. It's not going to be a permanent way of solving our problems. We have to really sit and discuss between the executive and the legislature which ways can we find and fix these issues better and faster, because time is of essence here. Even if we stop the importation or smuggling in of textile materials produced outside for 5 years, what happens after 5 years? If our companies in the country cannot produce competitively, then there will still be a problem. We wouldn't have solved the problem. So we need really a very serious discussion and conversation on the way forward about this.
However, Upper Chamber appealed to the federal government to provide necessary infrastructure facilities, especially power supply, to local textile manufacturing companies to revamp the industry. President of the Senate, Hamad Lawal, said that the National Assembly is working toward the passage of the 2020 appropriation bill on November 28, 2019. To achieve this target, Senate President directed the Senate Committee on Appropriation to submit its report on the 2020 budget proposal on November 26, 2019. Lawal gave the directive on the floor of the Senate during the plenary. The Senate President stated that the committee compliance to lay its report on November 26 will facilitate the passage of the 2020 budget on November 28 before the National Assembly proceed on Christmas break.
It's now in the court of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, the only committee standing at the moment. All the committees have done their work so well and have worked within the defined parameters, and therefore we expect the Appropriations Committee to galvanize into action and produce the report to be laid here on the 26th of November, next 2 weeks before the Senate, and I believe that it's going to be the same thing in our sister chamber in the House of Representatives, so that we are able to pass the Appropriation Bill 2020 on the 28th of November by the grace of God.
Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters has recommended the confirmation of Justice John Tisor and Benedict Kanyip as the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court and President of Industrial Court, respectively. Senator Opeyemi Bamidele-led committee confirmed justice after a secret screening exercise at the National Assembly complex in Abuja. After the exercise, Senator Bamidele, in a remark, noted that no democracy can grow with a compromised judiciary. He also stressed the need for a special intervention fund to enable judiciary function effectively. He admonished the justices to do their best in spearheading the improvement of welfare of judicial officers to ensure reform needed are driven home.
We believe that the recommendation by Mr. President also must have been informed by your antecedents and the kind of reputation that precedes you. It is part of our own understanding that the mood, both in the executive and legislative arm of the government as well as in the judicial arm, to allow the Supreme Court appoint the required number of justices as provided for in our Constitution, which is 21 altogether, with a view to helping the Supreme Court to be able to also take care of many of the cases that have been pending. Same for appointment of additional justices of the Court of Appeal. But we know all of these have financial implications. And these are not implications, these are not issues that can be addressed within the envelope given to the judiciary. And of course, the rest assured that we will do all we can to ensure that the legislative arm of government works with the executive arm of government, not for our justices and judges, it's nothing personal to them, but for our democracy to survive.
The committee is expected to submit their report before the Senate in plenary.